Hi, in this video you're gonna find out what ISO settings are optimal to shoot at night or basically in low light conditions. We're gonna compare different ISO settings in S-Log3 as well as S-Cinematone picture profile. I'm gonna also grade a bit for better image comparison. Finally, we will choose the low light winner. So without further ado, tap subscribe if you haven't already and let's start. A short introduction. I'm using Sony FX30 with Tamron zoom lens. The aperture was set to 2.8, multimeter most of the time 1.7. Shutter speed 48.2 to avoid flickering effect. So let's compare the S-Log3 options first. This is how the images look without grading. All I did was setting correct color space for S-Log3 so it doesn't look flat while comparing the result. In FX30 you have three options regarding S-Log3 shooting. Flexible ISO, which I had to set to 1000 to get multimeter showing me around 1.7. Then you have Cine AI and Cine AI Quick that operate on dual base ISO. You can choose between 2500 and 800. So 2500 is the brightest one, which is pretty obvious. It looks also the most noisy. By the way, make sure to watch this video in 4K to better see the difference. But to be fair with the comparison, let's align the exposure down to the darkest video, which is base ISO 800, and see what happens then. For your information, if you're using Davinci, in a color page, in primaries, I have decreased the offset, and in the HDR I have decreased the shadow exposure and also the light exposure a bit. As you see on my scopes, we are more or less on the same levels, so the images should look the same. So let's compare the noise now. Hope you can see it. Now the base ISO 2500 is the cleanest one, which is not a surprise because S-Log3 likes to be overexposed and the color grading can very much improve its performance. So this is our winner so far. Let's take it as it is and compare with S-Cinematone Picture Profile 11 if you're using FX30. You can already see a small issue in the colors. S-Cinematone is much more realistic comparing to S-Log3. Okay, but before we compare the noise, let me align the exposure and colors with S-Cinematone ISO 1000. That required a lot of tweaks and I'm still 100% happy. But anyway, let's assume it looks the same. And now let's see the noise. The S-Log3 has some reddish artifacts and is quite grainy. S-Cinematone looks much better, but I think ISO 1000 is the smoothest one. So as a last step, let's take our S-Log3 winner and Cinematone winner, but this time I will try to grade Cinematone so it looks as close as S-Log3. Okay, let's preview the noise, and we've got the winner. However, don't forget about the highlights. Look here, the information is lost, it's impossible to make it less bright. So the low light king is the Cinematone, however, it's better not to overexpose it because we can lose data. Tap subscribe if you found this material helpful, leave a comment what's your experience with low light recording. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one, cheers!